Through these halls, where lovers get lost and lust consumes the wicked, a place where reality collides with fantasy, in the pages where romance is second to none. Welcome to the Lover's Library.
Hey, lovers.
I'm Carly.
I'm Sydney.
And I'm Zoe.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello.
I want to sing the song.
We're not singing.
Come on, Disney.
Sing. We don't want to get sued.
Come on.
Today we are covering Part of Your World.
Ooh, you were holding in the song.
By Abby Jimenez.
Jimenez.
But this has nothing to do with mermaids.
No.
It
Or
really
Disney.
doesn't. There's not
But
one
she
mermaid
has red
in the
hair.
whole book. She does.
Oh, yeah?
So she's kind of Errol-ish. Anyways, Zoe, what's the scoop?
What's the scoop? So Abby is a Food Network winner, a New York Times best-selling author, and the founder of Nadia Cakes. She loves romance, coffee, and staying home.
Okay, Abby.
I know.
I
And
like staying home, too.
I like that she is the founder of Nadia Cakes, but then she even throws it in the book.
Mm-hmm.
She talks
I
about
did
it.
not know that.
Yeah, they got a cake for
Yeah.
the spaghetti dinner, and
I
he's like,
remember
we
that.
got it from Nadia Cakes.
That's
It's
awesome.
hers. I was like, that's really cool.
Aww.
Part of Your World, the book that we are currently going to go over,
Mm-hmm.
is the first book in a trilogy.
Which I'm...
So many books, so little time.
I know. And never mind, I can't say it. After a wild bet, a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich, and cuddles with a baby goat, Alexis Montgomery has had her world turned upside down. The cause, Daniel Grant, a ridiculously hot carpenter who's 10 years younger than her and as casual as they come, the complete opposite of sophisticated city girl Alexis.
All right now.
He is mad at you because you took the mic away.
Let's talk about it.
Alrighty.
Lovers quarrel.
What do we feel?
I freaking am in love with this man.
Me too.
He's so perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe too perfect.
That's where I was getting.
No, I'm not even annoyed at how perfect he is.
No, I was annoyed at her for not realizing.
Exactly. Exactly.
So the whole thing starts with her running off the road because she's trying to avoid hitting a freaking raccoon.
Yeah.
Which I believe the raccoon did survive.
Yes.
So no animals were harmed in the...
But those raccoons, come on.
Sheesh Louise.
No, I will swerve out of the way.
But so she's sitting there and she's like, oh my gosh, trying to get help. And they say it's going to take forever for somebody to get there. And then all of a sudden he pulls up. I was dying because she was trying to get out of her
It's
freaking
already started
Spanx.
so funny.
That was the funniest.
That would be so awkward.
Right.
But
Trying
then,
to wiggle out some space.
right? And then be like, what does she have on under there? Because sometimes, you know, if
I always
I'm
wear
wearing
underwear.
like full coverage Spanx, I don't wear anything under them.
I still do. On the off chance. Well, no.
Do you wear something under yours?
Yeah, usually probably like a thong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But only because what if I'm the kind of person who packs 18 pairs of underwear on a weekend
Yeah,
trip because
yeah.
you never
Okay.
know what's
You
going to happen.
never know.
Yeah.
They're going to pee through all of them
Yeah.
by chance. You never know.
What if you laugh really hard and pee in
Yeah.
all your underwear?
Exactly.
And it's not like anywhere you're going doesn't have like a Walmart or anything.
Right.
Well, I was just picturing her like going commando. I was like, oh my gosh.
Which would
But
have
then-
made it so much better.
Right. Well, I was dying that when he came up to the window, she only rolled it down like a crack.
Yeah.
And then when the dog comes, she like rolls it down all the way. And she's like, hi, baby. And then he's jumping on her car
Mm-hmm.
and she's driving a freaking Mercedes.
Yeah.
So she is.
I was like, you're kidding me. Get that dog off your car. Oh my gosh.
I would have been like, oh, he's so cute.
But she just loves those animals.
Oh,
all
it's
the
so
animals.
funny.
There were so many animals in this book.
And
I
they all
loved
have
it.
such funny names.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
cracking up this whole book. It was
Kevin
so
Bacon.
good.
Kevin Bacon.
Hunter.
That's
What's
the
the
one.
goat's name?
Chloe.
Chloe.
With the
I
jammer.
think she had a just
It was like
regular-
Chloe the something.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was a
'cause it
long
was-
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can't remember what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
remember.
That was so funny. Ugh. Well, so when she's waiting for him to come, she's talking on the phone with her friend Bree.
I love Bree.
Me
Mhm.
too.
She
Me
was
too.
my favorite character
She's my favorite
Mhm.
character
in the
too.
whole book.
She was a great character.
Yeah.
I think the next book's about
It
her.
is.
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. But her and Bree are talking, and so Allie, she just went through a bad breakup with Neil,
Mhm.
Ugh.
and Bree is actually going through a divorce. And so Bree's like, let's get on a dating app and let's go out on a date with somebody. And this part had me laughing and made me think
Oh,
of you
yeah.
guys, because they talked about how they were like, we'll pick a guy on Tinder, probably someone posing with a fish.
Yes. I
made
think
me
I
think of you
highlighted that
guys.
one too.
Yeah. But so they're talking about that, and she's like, no, I'm not, but this guy's coming up to my car, hold on. And he ends up getting her out of the ditch,
Mhm.
and she goes to the VFW, which is like their little,
bar.
basically like everything.
Yeah.
It's like the hub
Restaurant,
of
bar,
the
cafe.
town. Yeah. The community center.
Yeah.
So she goes there, and what do you know? Daniel's already there
Of
with his
course.
friends. And his friends make a bet that they're like, I'll bet $100 to whoever leaves with her.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them had any money.
Yeah.
To actually be making this bet.
money.
It was so funny. I loved it though, because Doug was the one that normally gets out the guitar
He is so funny.
and
Okay,
starts
I was
singing to
starting to get
everybody.
confused. Which one is the one that has PTSD?
Doug.
Doug. He's
Mhm.
got the animals. He's
Mhm.
got
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon and
Yeah.
And Brian,
Chloe
yeah,
is
Mhm.
his. Yeah.
yeah. And Brian is the more reserved and quiet one, but he's
Mhm.
the one that's been in love with Liz from the
Mhm.
beginning of
That
time.
was breaking my heart
Me too.
No.
at the bar. I was like, and then her husband
Mm.
comes in. And I was just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's so sad.
Such a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we should say there is a
Trigger
little
warning.
trigger warning for domestic violence.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Trigger warning. Trigger warning.
No animal abuse,
That's good. Even the raccoon survived.
just human abuse.
Thanks,
I don't
Betty.
know. They called the dog stupid once, and I didn't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Cancel.
Oh.
So, anyways, they go to the bar and
Yes.
there's a bet made. Daniel goes up to the bar and was
He's
like,
just trying to leave.
yeah. Oh no, yeah, you're right.
He wasn't even trying to make a.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to leave with her or anything. He was just paying his tab.
Yeah. And then she was like, "Hey, you're the guy that would just help me." And he was like,
Mhm.
"Was it her or was it Liz that warned her about the bet? Was it him?"
It was him.
Yeah, he told
Yeah.
him. He told her about it.
He was like, and then she came up with the idea of, let's just, trick them.
She was like, "Let's
Yeah.
split it."
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
split the
because he was
earnings.
getting ready to leave, and he was giving her a warning.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that those guys were gonna come up and try to get you for
Yep.
the night.
Yep. And she's like, "Well, why don't I just leave with you and we'll split the
Right.
money?"
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Where can I get something to eat here?" And he's like, "Nowhere."
Because she
'Cause-
doesn't like bar food.
Yeah, I was
Right.
like, girl.
That's like my favorite type of food.
It was hard to get the feel on the town at first. Walking, is that how you say it again?
No, I don't
Waken.
remember.
I
She-
was pronounce it Waken, but
Waken.
she like made it a point to say that they said it Wakan.
Wakan. Yeah, that's how it was.
Like Wakanda.
So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get a feel for the area because they kept saying it was touristy, but I was
Mhm.
like, "What is your why?"
I
I
feel like it
was-
was like Eureka Springs, you know?
Well, I was comparing it to Knoll. How people
Okay.
go down there for like float trips and stuff.
Mhm. Maybe that's what it is because there wasn't mountains, there wasn't a lake, there
Mhm.
wasn't an ocean.
Right.
It was like a really small town.
They said
Yeah.
you could like canoe
Yeah,
and hike.
and
Right.
ride bikes. And so I was like, "Why is this town so touristy?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
what's special about it besides all the people in it were great?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But-
magical, actually.
Right.
So he was telling her, he's like, "No, nothing is open because
Mhm.
we're like everything's closed for the season because it's the off season."
yeah.
And she's like, "Okay." And he's like, "But I mean, I have food at my house. If you want to come, I'll make you something."
Make a grilled cheese.
Yeah. And she's
What-
like, "I do not have one night stands."
and then she goes in and has a one night stand.
She sure did.
And
That's
it
what I
sounded like
said.
it was great.
Yeah.
But I said, it wasn't a one night stand really because we know
No.
how the book ends.
That's true.
Yeah.
So she really never did have a one night stand.
It was just the beginning of a relationship.
Yep.
Mhm.
But so that happens. They go home. She has dinner with him and leaves the next day.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
it like cuts from them like being at the house, and then
Mhm.
the next scene is her like running out or like on her drive
Mhm.
back to the big city.
Yeah.
She left her shoe. She stole his hoodie.
Yeah. Her very expensive shoe because she
Her
stepped in dog poop.
Expensive dress was covered in mud.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which we learned is because
But she didn't even
she got
care.
attacked by a pig.
Mhm.
This is why I love her, because she didn't even care.
Yeah,
She was like, oh, whatever. Like,
She said, all of my stuff is ruined, but this guy's 10 years younger than me. Oh
mhm.
my God. That's
Yeah.
awful. I
but you
couldn't
know
care about
what?
the money.
Okay, that was a kind of a. I was like, girl, okay, fine, but you like him.
Mhm.
That's how I always am too. I'm like, who cares?
Especially when you're that age. Like, if we have a 15-year-old and a 25-year-old,
It's a little
that's
weird.
not okay.
That's illegal.
But when you're both of consenting age,
Yeah, and he's later 20s.
I
yeah,
know he's already pretty much I mean, isn't that past the time that men
Yeah,
are like matured?
yeah,
yeah.
You're good.
yeah.
And
And-
he's amazing.
Exactly. He was great.
If
He
he was,
was.
like
Great.
too much and kind of sucked, then I'd be like, yeah, use the age gap as an excuse.
Exactly.
But no,
Mhm.
he was perfect.
Because
He was
to me,
perfect.
and it was
He was more
kind of-
mature than her.
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah.
But for me, that was one of the parts I was like pushing through because I was like, you keep bringing this up.
Mm-hmm.
You keep making an excuse for not being with him because of his age, because of, you know,
She was just trying to
she
cling
was
to any
fighting
reason
it.
why.
But and it kind of do you remember the Love Is Blind season where I think it was
Oh,
like
I
the
didn't watch
first or
that.
second season? One of the contestants got with a guy that was younger than her, and she made it a big deal.
That.
The blonde,
Yeah, she was the worst.
the worst. She got on my nerves. She had a horrible voice. It was a whole thing.
She
But
was using that as an excuse, but she really just didn't like him.
she did it. She did it. She's in a great relationship now. She's got a baby boy and all that jazz.
You guys should watch Love Is Blind. It's really good.
Yeah, it's good.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, but
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
yeah.
Is Love Actually Blind?
It is. Because none of it. I feel like I saw a meme that said this show was just for Cam and Lauren to find each other, which was the first couple, like the first
Oh,
season.
yeah.
The I think his name was Cameron and Lauren. Yeah,
I love
and they've
that.
been together since then, and they seem happy.
I love it when it
Love
works.
But that was like the one couple.
We love a happily ever after.
We do. We do. But anyways, let's get back to the book. So
Well-
she goes back to town. She's telling her best friend Brie, like,
Mhm.
I met this guy and I have a sweater and I can't stop thinking about him, basically.
Mhm.
And Brie was like, girl, go get your boy.
She's like, just have
Uh-huh.
fun.
Yeah.
But then Allie starts to explain why she can't just have fun because, drum roll please, she's a Montgomery.
She's a Montgomery.
Did anyone else squeal with Grey's Anatomy excitement at this?
No.
I've never seen it. Sorry.
Because there is a main character. There's a character in Grey's Anatomy. Her name is Addison Montgomery.
Oh, that's close.
She is also a surgeon. She also
Maybe she was her great grandmother.
But Allie wasn't a surgeon.
she was an ER
She's-
doctor,
yeah.
but it means they're still doctors.
I mean, yes.
But
she should have been a surgeon.
I
and She
know.
followed her dad's
Right.
wishes. Now she's just a
But-
disappointment.
Addison from Grey's Anatomy also has red hair.
Oh,
maybe
is
she's
that who
based
you
on
picked?
her.
I don't want to talk about it.
it out so
You know what's so funny is that at one point Brie actually says, "Imagine being a whole ass doctor and like feeling like a disappointment."
Yeah.
Right?
And I laughed so hard at that because I was like,
There
yeah.
are so many of my highlights are just quotes from Brie.
I
Same.
But
I love
should
her.
we talk about Allie and her family real quick?
Yeah. Do
They
you
suck. That's
I
the
wrote a
gist.
family tree basically.
Okay.
All the yeah. So we have Allie, she's an ER doctor and she's a disappointment of the family. She at one point in the book is applying to be the chief of the ER
Mhm.
basically.
Uh-huh.
Then we have Derek. This is Allie's twin brother. He's a plastic surgeon and he does a lot of volunteer work.
They're twins.
I said that, didn't I?
Oh,
Yeah.
did you? Oh,
Yeah, her twin brother.
I was doing a podcast.
And he's newly married to superstar Nikki, who
Yeah.
they moved to Cambodia to be together. So he has just thrown
I
a
have
huge
really dumb question, and I probably should have Googled it. Where is Cambodia?
Asia. It's like, I feel like it's Philippine-ish
Mm,
area.
yeah.
By the
Sorry, you said penis. I am a 12-year-old boy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel
anyways.
like it's around that area.
Yeah.
I feel like it's by
I
the
was
water.
thinking Philippines kind of area.
Thought it was a clothing brand.
All I knew was it was far away,
Oh, that's
and
good
he
for me.
was not in the family business anymore,
Nope.
and he has been disowned.
I was
Mhm.
kind of mad at Alexis when her brother told her, but then
Yeah.
later on I was like, okay, now
Yeah.
because I saw it from both sides. Obviously when
Mhm.
it's her, she doesn't.
Mhm.
Yeah. Then we have the dad, Cecil. He's a cardiovascular surgeon,
name.
and he's
And
a
a
total
butthole.
shit flower.
Yeah. That's written in your book.
Yeah. hmm Mom, she is an ortho surgeon. I think they said spine, but bones, And she is the 100% like class A submissive wife. Does whatever needs to be done to please husband.
Blech.
Then just to throw this one in there, because we've already mentioned him once, Neil. He is Allie's ex. He's chief of surgery. He was verbally abusive to her, and he
Trigger
is
warning.
the shit stain on society's underbritches.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, that's American and English. Not the britches.
Yep. So we figure out that Allie broke up with Neil because he had sex with an anesthesiologist.
Yep.
And I feel so bad for her because the whole time she's just trying to convince everybody that he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
And the
Oh,
whole time her family
This
is
made me
like,
so mad. You do not have to convince people. If your ex-boyfriend sucks and you tell that to somebody, you should not have to convince them that
Yeah,
they suck.
yeah.
And that's why I was angry this whole freaking book.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of her
Especially those
friends and all
two
of her
friends that
family
she had.
suck.
oh,
at the
I
house?
mentioned them later. Her friends, was it Jessica and Gabby?
Yes.
Ugh.
I put friends in quotes
They're the
because I'm like,
worst.
they were terrible.
Yeah.
But Bree was literally the only friend that she had that was actually supportive
Down for her, yeah.
in every way. I had highlighted a quote. She said, "God, I hope his dick shrivels up and falls off for real." I was like, "Yes, I love you."
I can't wait for the next book. Because I will say this, there were some things that I think my problem with the book a little bit, it didn't keep me from the story, but I feel like there were a lot of plots going on. Like the whole Neil situation, the whole the division, the being a part of different worlds, and
I think it had to be though.
yeah, there was a lot, but it all came to a nice bow at the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because you kind of needed all of the stuff to get you where you got at the end.
Yeah.
And I think Abby does a really good job of immersing you into the book.
She
Like,
hooked
felt
me
all of
right
the
away.
feelings.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was glad because some books are just hard to get into at first,
Yeah.
but hers was not like that at all.
You liked
it was
it
so good.
in the first page. It
Yeah.
was good.
I read
but-
it really fast.
There was, like Sydney was saying, there was so much going on and they were keeping so much from each other
Yeah.
that it was getting to a point where it was frustrating.
Yeah.
But I think, the way that it happened is perfect for the ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But okay, so we'll go back to what's happening in the book. So Bree is amazing and supportive and everything, and Allie cannot stop thinking and talking about Daniel. And she never got his phone number, so she ends up calling the VFW because she's like, I'm sure he's there, right? They're all there all the time. And what do you know? He was.
He was, because he's the mayor.
He's the mayor.
He's the freaking mayor.
I love
You're so
that.
perfect, Daniel.
Right?
Like, what's happening?
Oh,
He's the mayor for free.
Yes.
for free.
Exactly.
So they make a plan for her to come see him. And after he gets off the phone with her, he immediately freaks out. And I just loved him at this point. 'Cause
Yeah, he was
said,
like a little kid.
he goes, "What the hell am I going to do with her?" And then it says, Doug scoffed, "I think you know what to do with her, buddy." But, it was just so, I just loved it so much.
Okay, one of my favorite parts, I've had a good time reading this book,
Mhm.
but one of my favorite parts was their first date.
I was just about to talk about that.
And
Yes.
when he takes her out and they go on a drive and he sets up this nice little just stargazing moment. No.
No.
Was it the drive-in?
Drive-in, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm mixing it with another book.
Yeah.
But I was like, that is
Which,
so freaking
Doug
thoughtful.
owns it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doug runs it, and so he got Doug to open up the
Uh-huh.
thing, and Doug helped him. This is like a community thing.
It
Yeah.
is.
Everyone
It
came
is.
together to help him like pull this off, to have just something fun to do with her while she was
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
It
Allie,
was so
how can you
thoughtful.
not dump your shitty family for this man? Because
Yes.
he's so perfect.
And I loved that. I mean, it comes up later, but when they talk about Popeye, he tells Daniel, like, the town chooses who it wants. And I think that is so
Yeah.
true for that
Yes.
town, because everyone in there was actually part of the
world.
community. And
Mhm.
they, God, it was amazing. I
Yes.
loved
Yeah.
it.
Well, at one point when they're on that first date, she's like, "What the hell's going on? Like, this is real romantic. Like, what are
Yeah.
you doing?" And
I feel sus too.
he said,
Like,
I
bro.
love what he said though. He said, "We're going to eat and we're going to hang out, and I'm going to put effort into
Yeah.
that because you're putting in effort to be here,
I highlighted
and it's
that
going
too.
to be
Me
like
too.
that every time." Okay.
Oh, I was like,
Yes, everybody.
put that in your in your
Everybody
bios.
highlight that and
Yeah.
Thank
store
you.
it for your brain for later. Put effort into it.
Put effort into
if
people.
I saw
Yes.
somebody on Hinge or Bumble and they put that quote there, I'd be like, "Where's the ring?
When do we get married?"
when is the time and the day of the
How
wedding? I'll
about
be there."
just store that in your back pocket, and when you're dating someone and they're putting effort into being with you,
Mhm.
into doing things with you, because you're putting effort into it, then you know this is a good one to go with.
Can I give you a side story
Mm-hmm.
a little bit? So my little brother just went on his first date.
Oh, like
Aw.
first ever?
Yeah.
Dang.
We're a really focused individual family. We don't date until like we're really ready to do that.
We just get whole ass babies.
yeah, exactly. We skip some parts. But
we
he-
love the baby dough.
he gave her an option of like, do you want to go bowling? Do you want to go on a picnic? And he had asked me first. He was like, should I do bowling or a picnic? And he already texted her. And I was like, I feel like picnic is a little too intimate, like maybe that's not the best.
'Cause
Maybe
then
bowling.
you're forced to have a conversation.
Yeah, and it
like-
feels romantic and all that jazz.
Mhm.
And he was like, oh, okay. And then she had texted back. She was like, picnic.
Aw.
So they went to the park by the zoo. Cedric, is that
Uh-huh.
Cedric?
Yeah.
And they had a really good time of just chatting and
love that.
yeah, I'd had a picnic and
I love picnics.
me too.
We should do them more often.
I
Everyone
know.
should. They're great.
Let's go on a picnic, guys.
I like to photosynthesize.
Yeah.
If it's too hot, I don't want to do it.
Let's bring umbrellas and you get little head.
I don't wanna be
fans for your
sweaty.
neck.
I don't like being sweaty
Anyways,
when it's not
But
appropriate.
I was like, he's putting in the effort for him to even think about like there's an option if you don't want to be as social or if you want to be really social. Like he put a thought into this date instead of just waiting for her to be like, hey, let's just do that. Like he
Mhm.
took the initiative and I appreciated that from him. And of course he didn't give me any more of the date, like what happened. He was just
Aw,
like, here are the
kept it
pictures
private.
Of course.
and this is what
Good boy.
I was like,
I
I
need
don't want all
all
the
the
details.
details.
I know. And my mom was like, that's all he's gonna give you. And I was like,
His date's gonna listen to this and be like,
right?
about me.
didn't tell. You didn't tell all the details.
But anyways, but I was like, okay. And in comparison to this, like he's doing what Daniel did. His middle name is Daniel, by the way.
Love that.
Aw.
But I was like, I appreciate guys that really do like put thought into a date.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that my little brother is also one of those people
Mm-hmm.
that does that.
That's a proud sister
It
moment.
is. I was like, oh my gosh. So sweet.
That's pretty cute.
You're great. Anyways, okay, back
Can
to
we
the-
talk about the movie choices and what movie they picked?
Yeah.
I was squealing when they picked The
Me
Princess
too.
Bride. And then they kept saying quotes from it. And I was like,
Yeah.
yes!
Like throughout the whole book.
I was like, these are my people. I just, at one point, what was it? When did he say it and why? When Daniel did his big quote of grace costs you nothing.
That was
I don't remember.
before they stayed at the place.
At his place.
B&B?
Yep, that was very vague, but
At the place that they went.
Oh, because
that's where he said it.
maybe they were talking about why he does all this stuff.
Oh.
Was that it?
I don't remember. But I know that he said his grandma used to whisper it to herself when he was
Mhm.
acting all like a fool.
I just said that it was the theme of the book, and I just loved it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot in common too.
Yeah.
They do. And
It
she
wasn't
had a
'cause I
big
was-
character development. I
Yeah.
was
Mhm.
very proud of her.
Yeah.
I was a little worried at first because obviously, like, we all know they have sex, and we're going to talk about it later.
They did?
But
What?
I
It's a
was
romance
worried
book?
because it was like they spent, she was kind of at this point going back and forth. Like she'd go
Mhm.
home and do her job and then come back and live in this like imaginary play world where everything's perfect. And it was like her world didn't exist when she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those troubles weren't
Which
there
was nice
anymore.
for her.
That's what made me sad because I was like, she's going to pick him or something and then realize it's not what she wants because he even said that it was like her vacation self.
Yes.
It wasn't actually her.
That's
Mhm.
what I was worried about. But I was so glad when they came around to like learning more about each other and that they had so many common interests in like the books that they read. I love that they both love to read.
Yeah, me too.
And then that they actually had read some of the same books. And she's like,
Mhm.
I don't read like super popular authors. And they both liked historical.
Weirdos.
Nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
Yeah. But
I mean, no offense.
I
but
love-
also offense.
everything Daniel said made me love him more. And then I
Me
loved
too.
the part where he said, yeah, reading makes your penis look bigger. Don't quote me on it. The science is really new. I was dying. I was like, I love this man.
He's not wrong. It's very true.
But so she goes home after another stay with him, and her friends are like begging to go on a girls' trip. And so these are the friends in quotes, Gabby and Jessica. When they say they're going to a B&B, I knew they were going to his.
Right.
I
Don't
was
they,
like,
they're neighbors too.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how she knows them.
That's disgusting.
Which, okay.
And they work there. In
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
hospital.
They're all doctors.
Can I say something before we
Mhm.
move into this? Okay, so Neil, her ex, who she has to work with and see all the time.
But not
Um,
really see all the time because
yeah.
they really don't have that much.
He makes a point
Yeah,
to like
he
come
Yeah.
down and be
is-
a
mhm.
butthole. But he is staying with his son, and he like comes back one day after she's coming back from Wakanda. And he is like there with the police
Mhm.
and trying to
Such a
get back
douche.
in, and the police can't do anything because his name is
They're both on
Mhm.
the mortgage.
so it's not just her house. And she was like, you can't do, like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm trying to be separated from you.
Mhm.
You have enough money to go and buy somewhere else. You're just pushing a wound and
Mhm.
making it worse.
But he's the worst.
He
is the worst.
And I was like, so, like, that part was getting me heated. I was like, bro, honestly, just move on. Like, she don't want
But he's a
you.
psychopath.
Yeah,
He
narcissistic, manipulative. They
Yeah.
can't.
So many things
It
wrong
was-
with him.
Oh, I had to put the book down for a minute because
Mhm.
it was like really late at night, and I was like, let me get my breathing
That's
back
one
down.
thing. She made me feel like I was in this book. I
Yeah.
felt every emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But leading into them going on this vacation,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't, like, her friends did not care
no,
that Neil was doing this to her.
no.
They're like, oh, you're going to get back with him anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're like, why don't you just go ahead and get back with him now?
Even when she explained to them what he was doing to her,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like they pushed it off, and I was like,
Because
you are not a friend.
people
No.
who don't get it. And they're
They
like,
don't.
he probably wasn't even that mean to you. You're overreacting. Like, that's what her
Right.
dad was saying.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
So
Right.
stupid.
I hate you. Go kick rocks.
Yeah.
And trip over one into a
Yes.
ravine.
Yeah.
Fall in a hole and don't climb out.
Well, when they were on their way there, they just, like you said, they just don't care about
Yeah.
her at
Mhm.
all. And I liked when Bree called and she
Yeah.
was talking to Bree when all the other girls went into the gas station. And they're talking, Bree and Allie are talking about Daniel, of course,
Of course.
and how she wants to see him again and all these things.
Mhm.
And I was laughing when Bree said, okay, well, just remember not to name his penis. Once you name it, you get attached.
She
I
was
love this
so
girl.
funny.
I
I was
love her.
laughing a whole lot.
I love her.
But she was a good friend because when,
Yeah.
when Allie was like, yeah, I'm on this girls trip with these two. And she's like, ugh, have fun with that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
she wasn't upset or mad that she didn't get invited. Because that's
Yeah.
kind of another thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people would be upset that they didn't get
I
invited.
would be. I'd be like, y'all's a bunch of hoes.
Yeah, I probably would have had my feelings
I
hurt
hope you
too.
get stuck in that cabin.
Yeah. But she
Wait, I have a quote from Bree talking about Neil.
Okay, yeah.
She says, "Look at that mantrum. 8,000 nerves in the clitoris and still not as sensitive as a white man not getting his way."
Right?
I highlighted that too, but I was like, I don't think I can say that.
Why?
I laughed so much.
Me too.
But
That was funny.
she's so witty. I just loved her. But okay, so then Allie figures out that they're going to Daniel's bed and breakfast. And I was so freaking nervous because I was like, is she gonna...
Me too. I thought the beans were going to get spilled right there.
Yeah, but then I almost wanted them to be spilled.
Me
I was
too.
like, why are you pretending that you don't know him? I was so sad.
I was too. And so was the dog.
Yeah.
It made my feelings hurt that she, like, couldn't be excited to see him.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I was happy because she basically blew off the girls the entire
She sure
time
did.
just to hang out with him.
With her mans.
Yes.
That's her man.
But I said she was freaking in denial from day one about him.
Mm-hmm.
She said, during this time when they're on the little girls' trip, she says, this whole week had been horrible, but I missed Daniel. Being on his lap, letting him hold me, smelling his warm, piney scent. It was a finally moment, like arriving at a finish line or letting go of a breath you've been holding or coming home.
Oh, I love those
I was
moments.
like,
in bed.
girl, you are.
Because
If someone
what
makes
it feels
you,
like?
yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the TikToks and videos of the person that's like a physical touch person, and they're like how it feels when I'm with my partner or something like that. Like,
Mhm.
so they have all that background noise, and it's just like a really busy noises that are going on. And the second he like puts his hand on her leg or whatever, it just goes whoop, and it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That is really how it feels.
Uh-huh.
Like, especially for me, like, yeah, busy head.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And then Adam is so calm and like,
He brings you back to center.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like exactly how it is. It's like
We
just
both have the
relief all the
da-da-da.
time.
We're both
That
we're
shoulda.
both neurospicy. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And our partners are regular, boring.
Golden retrievers,
Yes, they are golden retrievers. Ugh,
and I am a black cat.
yes. So at this point, she's like, okay, we're just going to let this play out. Whatever it is, it is. So she's going back and forth. And at one point, she is with Daniel when they get the call about Popeye.
Uh-huh.
And basically the town's like, hey, he didn't come to breakfast. He always comes to breakfast. He's way too late.
Me too.
Yeah. They're like, he's way too late. You need to go check on him. And they go, and sure enough, he fell at home. And that is when Daniel finally figures out that Allie is a doctor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He still doesn't know like really what she does. He doesn't even know her last name.
I know she called herself Dr. Alexis,
Mhm.
which I thought was interesting. I'm sure she doesn't do that at the hospital.
She probably does.
Well, she
'cause they all
probably
know
goes
she's
by
in
Alexis,
Montgomery.
but all of her friends call her Allie.
But why did she
Maybe.
not go by Dr. Montgomery?
Because I think they
Mhm.
already know. I mean, they probably know she is a Montgomery. 'Cause
Also,
she's in all of the probably
Oh,
the social
because there's
stuff.
like 7 of
but
them.
also
so
she was like cringy about being a Montgomery.
that's true.
She probably didn't want to advertise that that's who she was, you know?
That's true. I didn't think
Because
about
I don't think she liked it as that much.
that. Mhm.
No, she probably despised being.
Yeah. So after that, she goes back home, and like we mentioned, Neil is living at the house in the basement. And this one day, she's trying to leave, and she realizes that the power's out to the whole house. And she's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And she calls Daniel. Did she call him or did he call her? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
She called him.
I think she
because
called
the coffee
him.
maker was not working.
She was freaking out, and she's like, I don't know what to do. My coffee maker's not working. And
Which
he's
is
like,
the depth of despair.
yeah.
I get it.
Well, then he's like trying to help her through it. And then like the biggest problem of all of it was that she couldn't get out of the garage. Like that was the more,
yeah.
Right.
here's my
pressing
problem.
issue.
But she was more upset about the coffee. So he helps her figure out how to get out of the garage. But then he says, well, check to see if your breaker like got flipped or whatever. And he's like, but that'd be really weird. And he talks her through where to find it because she's completely oblivious to all of this. And she finds it, and the only breaker that was flipped was the power to the house, like the
Mhm.
main power. And he's like, that's really weird.
Such a
She's like, how would that have happened? And he's like, well, somebody would have had to flip that one. And she's like, oh, okay. And just lets it slide. Like
Well,
at that point,
he said, did you have somebody working on it?
Yeah.
And she lied.
yeah. I felt like at that point she should have been like
Yeah, this a-hole is
like,
living in my
listen to what
basement.
happened here. Like, told him what was going on.
Yeah,
but-
but I feel like in another sense, you can't just tell the guy that you really like that my ex is in the basement.
but I feel like
Unless if she explained it to him,
I'm kind
he
of
would
an open book.
understand.
I would have been like, listen to all of my issues.
well, look at how
Right.
distressed she was. I feel like in that moment, if she had just been like, oh, I didn't want to tell you about this, but he's freaking here, and I'm freaking out, and I don't know what to do.
And
And I
Daniel would
can't
have
get him out of
definitely
here.
came up there and
Like he
Yeah.
would have, he would have supported her 100%. And I don't think it would have caused without a doubt, wouldn't have caused an issue.
Mhm.
I don't think at all. But
But
I
I
just
don't think she was ready to tell her family at that point.
Mhm.
So
no.
we had to wait
Yep.
for the slow
All the
burn.
time.
That wasn't actually a slow burn because they were still banging.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a slow realization they wanted a relationship.
Yes.
slow burn realization.
But one of the things that she did mention was that obviously that was a classic example of her not knowing how to do literally anything.
Yeah.
We did get a little sneak peek at the bed and breakfast because they had that huge mess the one morning because of the
Mhm.
dog, and she was helping him clean, and she didn't know how to sweep.
Yeah, she called the sweeper thing. And he
Yeah.
had a broom.
Yeah.
You're a doctor?
But she mentioned how it was so nice for Daniel to never like put her down or make her feel bad about not knowing those things.
Mhm.
Because she said Neil would be like, well, you're just stupid, or this is why you need me around because
Yeah.
you don't know how to do any of this stuff. So
Ugh.
instead of teaching her and helping her, he would make her feel bad about it.
Yeah.
He's the worst.
He is the worst.
But when Daniel was talking her through it, he's like, you know a lot of things. Like, you're really smart. And he asked her how many bones were in the body, and she like rattled it off really quick. And then he's like, what's your favorite bone? And I love that she had a favorite bone. That was cracking me up. Do you guys remember what it was?
The hyoid.
The
It's a good
hyoid.
bone.
the hyoid.
Then what's this next part? Oh, so Daniel is like, I'm freaking in love with this girl. What do I do? I don't know what to do. And he's talking to Liz, which is his cousin, and she's the one that works at the bar, and Doug and everybody. And Doug says the sweetest thing that I highlighted it. It's about penguins. He says,
I loved this part.
me too. He says a penguin loves stone. When a male likes a female, he finds a perfect stone and he brings it to her. If she likes it, she puts it in her nest, and that's it. They're paired for life. And he says, my point is, the penguin's not picking her mate because he's the one who has the best rock. It might look that way, but she's not. She's taking the rock because the male she wants the most is offering it. Sometimes what you have to give is enough, even if it's a rock instead of a diamond.
Ooh.
I was like, dang.
Okay, Doug.
All
And
right, Doug.
I kind of want Bree and Doug to get
Me
together.
too.
So if he's coming out with that,
Yep.
I'm
I
like,
wanted Bree
okay.
I wanted Bree to go with her one of those times. I was
Me
really hoping she
too.
next
would've,
book,
but
next
yeah.
book, she's gonna find herself in Wakanda.
Yep. So then Allie's having a heck of a time back home with all this shit going on there, and she just stresses out and she's like, fuck it, I'm leaving. So she just drives back to see Daniel unannounced. And on her way there, she says she realizes that she was really doing it also, like not telling him she was coming because she was almost hoping to catch him with somebody.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's what she's used to.
Mm-hmm. Well, plus it would make it easier to like.
to cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, you know he's perfect. Stop it.
Yeah, for real. Gardening when she showed up.
Right.
Yeah. He's like,
God.
and he was, so
being the
happy.
mayor, okay?
He was
He's
so
amazing.
happy to see her. But I really liked, he's like, I wish you would have let me know. I don't have any food, so we need to go to the store. I
Oh,
love the game that they
game.
played.
It was so cute.
It sounds
I would
really
never,
fun.
That's disgusting. But
Well, they made something really good out of it. Like, it's not like they just mashed a bunch of stuff together that didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that.
But I was going to say, it sounds fun, but I don't know that I'd be able
In
to like
practice, it
actually
wouldn't, yeah.
come up with a meal.
Pretzels and random stuff.
No.
Yeah.
But they made soup? Question
Soup.
mark?
Yep. And he helped her.
Was it good though?
She helped him. It sounded.
It
If
was good.
Daniel made it, you know it was
It
good.
was good
yeah,
in
that's
love.
true.
That man can
He
cook.
literally has an herb garden. It's gonna be good.
Oh my gosh. And the movie that they picked while they were there was Ever After with Drew Barrymore.
I love that
Mm.
movie.
I
just
freaking love
recently
it.
watched it. It was
Yes.
so good.
I know we've talked about it before. It's like one of my favorites.
That's
But
my trivia question.
is that I said that it was like the town needed her. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was like, I had
In more
her,
ways than one.
I had her
Mhm.
problem solved from day one. Like
Girl,
the
yes.
second she helped Popeye, I was like, that's what the town needs. Like
exactly.
just
Everything
move
is
here.
too far out. for
move here,
everybody.
open your own clinic. I was like trying to figure out how she was going to do it.
Yep.
But I was like, that's the solution,
She still wanted to make her parents happy. I already cut them off a long
right?
time
Yeah.
ago. Bye.
Like she freaking helped deliver a baby. And by deliver, she
Mhm.
saved that baby's life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I cannot tell you how many deliveries we have that, go from fine to not fine
Right.
really fast.
Mhm.
Really fast.
And the fact that she was there to be able to help and do
Mhm.
that maneuver and get that baby out safely, like
I like that she never even said anything about it, but the nurse that they had on
mhm.
Zoom told them about it later.
Mhm.
Yes. Which is awesome for that nurse because a lot of times people will be like shady to the rural people.
Mhm.
Like, you just lucked out on that one. You guys got lucky,
Mhm.
Whereas no, she used her skill and knowledge to.
I think that Abby had slipped, the author Abby had slipped in a Legally Blonde quote
Oh, I didn't catch it.
because he said, "So you don't know how to peel potatoes, but you can deliver a baby?" And she said, "What? Like it's hard?"
Oh yeah.
All right, Abby. All right, Zoe.
Right. That's funny. Okay, so then she goes back home and she's like feels this sense of fulfillment and also like this need to want to help.
Mhm.
And so she starts collecting like basically a trauma / anything pack, like a
Mhm.
go bag, medical go bag for the town. So she's like, if I'm ever there, I have everything I need.
So they
And
don't
she's
have to
like,
use
and I
gin
can
a
leave
fish
it
hook
for-
anymore.
Yeah, she's like, I can leave it for Doug, who was an old medic in the
Mhm.
military.
Mhm.
And so he has experience. So she's like, he will have at least some of the tools he needs to help people if I'm not there. And Daniel sends her a picture of him and Chloe at that time.
Uh-huh.
And it was the freaking cutest thing ever. But I love how Brie instantly noticed. She's like, what is that? What are you looking at?
Mhm.
What did he
Mhm.
send you? She's like, just a picture. And she's like, show me, show me, show
That's
me.
a real friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who knows? Like, girl, what you looking at? I
She
know what you
knows
looking
that
at, but
face.
tell
She's
me.
like, I
Yeah.
know. And I love that she showed him off to her.
Me
Mhm.
too.
This is so cute.
The part that came after that made me laugh
Yep.
a whole lot.
Yeah. I think that's on my third date.
That's on mine too.
Okay, good. So we'll skip that part for now. So, but then I think at that point she kind of realizes like
She's in it.
she's in it and I need to break it off.
Mm-hmm.
So she goes back.
Stop
like,
it with the
girl,
third act breakup.
Come
Right.
on.
So she goes back to see him and he's like, "Oh, let's go out to dinner." She's like a date with everybody? And he's like, "Yeah, like a date." And they go to the VFW and they have had made a big celebration just for her to like tell her how thankful they are
Yeah.
to come and help them and have saved that baby and all this stuff. And it was just like so sweet. And she's still just like, fuck, now I really got to cut this off.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
'Cause
And
she's falling in love not only with him but everything
Yep.
else.
Yep.
the town, the people.
Taking
Mhm.
care of them.
But then the town knows. So she,
Yeah. The town said no.
they're leaving, they're walking home, and they stand there and they're talking, and they have just the most magical kiss. All the petals falling from the trees,
Mm-hmm.
and they kiss, and it's like beautiful. And she's like, "Fuck, I can't leave." And then that's when the trigger warning with Lexi happens,
Yes.
which I don't think we need to go into detail
Her
about
name's
that.
Liz.
Liz, not Lexi. Have I called her Lexi?
No.
No.
That was
that's
the first time?
Mhm.
Okay, Liz. Sorry.
Yeah, we
Liz.
don't have to go into it. If
Yeah.
it's something that you're sensitive
good.
about,
It's good, but it's not like monumental to the
yeah,
plot of this
Agreed.
book.
agreed.
So they go back to his place and they have like a wonderful night, and she's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna ride the wave, see how long it goes," you
Mhm.
know. it'll end eventually. I know this isn't going to work because I'm applying for this job. And if I get it, I'm going to be really busy and whatnot. And then Daniel tells her he loves her.
And she said, bro, what?
It was like the screeching.
Yeah,
That girl bounced so fast.
she did, but it's only because she loved him too.
Mm-hmm. But she's like crazy running, trying to
Mhm.
leave, and it's nothing's happening outside. She's trying to leave, and then all of a sudden, lightning out of nowhere hits a tree, and it falls and blocks her in.
The town knows.
And then it starts raining like crazy, and I was like, oh, "This is our moment! It's
was like-
raining! It's always raining!"
It's
And I was like, "This is it! This is it!" And then it wasn't it, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
It's always lightning.
I thought that was gonna be it. That was
She
the
was
part.
like, get your chainsaw and
Yeah.
get this tree.
I
I'm
highlighted it.
leaving.
She said, "Get your chainsaw and move it. I'm still leaving." And he said, "No, no way."
The town.
She says, "What do you mean, no way? I need to get out." He's like, "I'm not messing with that. That was God." I loved that so much.
I like that things they said throughout the book were kept throughout the book. So like they kept up with the, oh, Doug bet me $100.
Mhm. Or inconceivable.
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
I don't think you-
funny.
Know what that word means.
That was hilarious.
But he does end up getting her to come inside with him, and he calms her down, and he's like, I think he said at that point, "Look me in the, I'll let you go if you can look me in the eye and tell me that you don't love me."
Mhm.
And she's like, "I love you."
Dang
And
it.
so
It's like,
they're
dang, girl.
they're still together. And she's like, "But I've really got to go because they're doing this they're announcing who
Fundraiser,
got the
thing,
job.
yeah.
Mhm.
Who got the job, and I need to go."
Yeah.
So she goes home
Alright.
and she gets the job. She is now the chief of the emergency department.
Mm.
And
Snaps for her.
she's
Snap.
sitting there, and she only knows she got it because her whole family comes walking in. Her mom, her dad, the two quote friends, and Neil fucker come walking in. And she's like, and her dad's smiling, and she's like, "Oh, well, I guess I got it." And then
Yay.
all of a sudden, Daniel shows up.
Daniel, I was like, no.
I was
turn
like,
around,
Right.
wanted
Daniel.
to cry. I
We're
wanted
going
to
to the-
cry.
The pit of vipers right now.
I could just see his face, like, just trying so hard to look nice and
So happy.
go in there with the flowers, and he was going to surprise her, and it killed me.
Yeah. That was a tough part.
But I was so proud of her for saying, "He's my boyfriend."
Me
Mhm.
too.
I was like, if you deny him one more
Mhm.
time, I
Right.
swear.
But she
I'm gonna
said that
jump in
too.
this book
She
and
said,
I'm gonna take
Right.
him from you.
if I don't say the truth, he will never forgive me for this one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank God she realized
I
it.
know.
And I think a part of that, like his mom, because we didn't talk about this, but his mom wants to sell the B&B for money,
Because she's
and she's a deadbeat mom and all this jazz.
yeah.
And not getting validation from the person who birthed you,
Mhm.
even if they were never a part of your life, there is still that. Like, I heard you were the first voice I heard.
Mhm.
When I was in your stomach, and to not get that validation from them,
Mhm.
it hurts. And now, I mean, he doesn't have any living family besides her,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
so to like walk into a room and the person that you're absolutely in love with doesn't acknowledge you or doesn't
Mhm.
recognize or make known that I love you, and I'm gonna tell that to people who are important to me too, in quotes.
It's devastating.
Yeah.
He would, and I would understand why he wouldn't want to be with her
Yeah.
Yeah.
at that point. Like, you have a complete, full my agreement to not talk to her ever again,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
that would be the lowest of blows.
Mhm.
But I loved that Bree got in his truck and talked
Saved
to him.
it.
Mhm.
Yep. I highlighted part of that because I was like, it was so funny. I love Bree saved the day. She's like, "Okay, break it down. What do we got? I'll explain it." But the one part I highlighted was he was telling her there was some older guy and an older woman, gray hair, serious. He wouldn't shake my hand. And she goes, "Those were her parents." Wow, you went through a portal right into the 7th level of hell. I was just like,
This next
"Oh,
book is
gosh."
gonna be so good.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. Bree is
For
so
sure.
funny. She even, like, Alexis quoted her at one point where, when she's delivering the baby, And she was like, I know it hurts, but now you know what it feels like to be a man with a cold.
Yeah.
I was like, this was so funny.
But so he's like, okay, fuck. And then Allie messages him her address. He goes there. He sees the house, and he's like, oh, I get it. I get it now. Her house is beautiful. It's massive, super fancy. She takes him up to her room, and they're talking. And she's basically just like, this can't work because, like, this is what I live in. This is my life.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, this part made me so sad. He said, all we had was our love for each other. That's all we had. None of the other parts worked or fit or made sense. But I didn't need it to make sense because for me, the love was everything. It was all I needed. But it wasn't enough for her. And I was like, God damn it.
It's like stab you in
so
the heart
sad.
and then
Yeah.
a twist.
God.
And so he left. She stayed. They loved each other so much.
Mhm.
They would like wake up and each one would be like, forget
Mhm.
and look for the other, and they weren't
We
there.
were getting so close to the end of the book, and I was like, they're not together. My
Right.
heart is
Right?
still hurting. What's
I was
That's
happening?
like,
how
this
it felt
is
like in this
crazy.
next book too.
Yes.
Well, not to foreshadow, but foreshadow.
But
Made me so mad.
then she's just miserable, and so is Daniel. And he tells Doug, he's like, I'm leaving. But this part had me literally in tears. He said, this hurts so much. I can't breathe without her. I just want it to stop. And he's like, I'm leaving. And then Allie freaking calls him, and I was so mad.
Me too.
I was like,
"Quit
don't do
hurting
that to him.
Yeah.
God.
Keep twisting the knife, please.
But
That's
after
great.
that, he like blocks her number, and
I
he's
know.
like,
I
nope.
was happy that he did
Yeah.
that because
Mhm.
don't let her keep hurting you.
Gotta have boundaries.
He
Daniel.
said there's something more final than forever, and
Yeah.
it's never. Never's infinite.
"Ooh,
I was like, dang,
yeah.
Whoa,
dude.
my boy, a quote."
Ugh. But so she's trying to get prepared for this big like gala banquet that her family has for
Yeah.
the hospital and their people, and she's gonna have to speak at it, and she's freaking out, and she's depressed, and she's having all these issues. Well, then we bring Neil back into it.
Of
At
course.
one point, Neil basically was like, would not fucking stop. Her family wouldn't stop. Nobody would stop. They wanted her to do couples therapy, and she's like, no. Neil comes to her about the therapy, and she goes, how about you fucking go to therapy?
Mhm.
You go to therapy for however many months and come talk to me when you're done. I need proof that you did it. Come talk to me when you're done. And if you can do that, like we can do couples therapy.
Mhm.
So Neil comes to her and he says, hey, I really needed to go to therapy. Like, thank you for telling me to do that. Basically. And he's like, I'm going to move out. You can have the house. Like, don't worry about it. I need to work on me, basically.
And I was
And-
like, thank the Lord.
It was like that's all that needed to happen for her to like finally see that there's a way out. I was like, stupid. But anyways, so Bree comes and she's like, get the fuck out of here, Neil. We're having margaritas. I love it. And then they take like one sip and they're like, okay, we're done. That's
that was
too much.
Too strong. No,
But Bree helps her come to terms
when
with
she kicked Neil out, she was like, I think I saw some orphans. You can go tell them Santa's not real. I
Yeah.
was like, you're so funny.
Yep.
That's funny.
But so they
Mhm.
talk it through and she's like, you know what you need to do.
Mhm.
So just do it. So Allie calls an emergency meeting, talks to the board, comes up with this big plan, doesn't tell anybody. Reader doesn't know what the plan is.
Mhm.
Then she's like, text Daniel. She's like, please come, get a tux, come. Bree helps her.
She called Doug.
This is the point.
Foreshadow. Wink, wink.
Yeah. This is the point where I was like, why did she never call her brother from the beginning?
I know.
Honestly.
I was like, he literally just went through the exact same thing she's going
Mhm.
through.
And
He
she
fell
even
in love.
figured that out like pretty
Yeah.
early on.
Yeah.
Like,
He
give him
fell
a
in love
call.
with somebody that wasn't approved by the family and he chose them.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess she did say it was really hard for them to get service on their satellite phone.
Yeah.
But still, you could have
Still,
tried.
she was able to get in touch with him pretty darn fast
Yeah.
for it being hard to get a hold of them.
It's
But
a sore spot. for-
so she goes to the gala thing and she's waiting for him and he doesn't show up and she thinks he doesn't show up.
Mhm.
She goes up there to do her speech and she makes the announcement. They're going to open a satellite clinic
Mhm.
in
Wakanda.
Wakanda. And she is going to be the doctor there.
And also in Cambodia.
And also in Cambodia, and her brother Derek is going to run that.
The Montgomerys are back.
Yes. So she kind of makes everyone happy. But at the same time, she's giving her family the big like middle finger because she's like, I love him and fuck y'all.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I need to do, but I'm still gonna be with him. So he does come and he said, I was there. I just didn't want to I heard the whole thing. I just didn't want to distract you. And so they're dancing and she's like, kiss me, Daniel Grant. He looked scandalized. Right here in front of everyone? And she said, right here in front of everyone. And he says, as you wish. It was so good. It was so perfect. I was like, yep, that's it.
When they were talking on the phone and they were like, it was the last time they were talking on the phone, you know, I literally was sobbing.
I know. I was on the brink of tears the whole time. I'm surprised. I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
I felt it. It was trapped.
It
I don't know
was
why I couldn't
awful.
cry, but I
I just
cry.
was like, I was getting through those emotions. I was just reading fast at that point. I was just like, what's going to happen next? Like, come
The
on.
part when she's trying to leave but the tree falls down.
Yeah.
I kept playing in my head the part in the Notebook where he's like,
So
what
many
do
Notebook.
you want?
Yes.
What do you want?
I had a lot of that coming. And this actually, the last part I have before third date is actually from Gives Me Notebook vibes because he says, she smiled. Oh, but I was going to say, I loved that the epilogue was Daniel's point of view.
Me
Yeah.
too.
But this was from Daniel in the epilogue. He said, she smiled and I looked into her eyes and I saw everything. The rest of my life.
Oh.
I saw children and grandchildren in rocking chairs on the back porch of the house overlooking the river and 2 old people dying on the same day because the world would never be cruel enough to make either one of us exist without the other.
I love that.
I was like,
She's
please.
probably going to die before him, though. That's a nice picture. I love that for him. No,
But
that was
it was so good.
so good.
So should we go to third date here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of the scenes faded to black
Yep.
Yeah, it
for the
was
most part. It
Not
wasn't
even.
spicy,
closed
spicy.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did say the word hard on.
Yeah. There was like sexual language.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't like you didn't get to read a lot of that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know.
Which was good. I think it was good for this book.
I
Yeah.
liked it though.
Yeah. I don't think it needed that.
Yeah.
One of the ones I
Aspect.
have was we went 3 times. He was back up in under 2 minutes flat.
Yeah.
I got tired before he did.
Right, that was at the
And he
beginning.
was doing all the work. She said he was incredible. He did this thing where he lifted me up against the wall. I was like, woo, boy,
He's strong man.
pick her up.
He's a stallion.
Thank you. What else? I got another one. He said she was so beautiful I couldn't believe I'd gotten her to come back here. Made me a little proud of my sex skills. What
We have to talk about Doug coming over with a ring light
Yes,
to help
for
him
the dick
take
pic.
a picture of his penis. Go ahead.
He's like, I'm coming. And Daniel's like, no. And then Liz is on the background like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really important. Let him help you. Oh my God, you guys. But he ended up doing good. And she's like, what are you? You're holding it, aren't you? And you're looking down from the top and
Yeah.
I can see your feet in the picture. And he's like, oh shit. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. So many quotes from that. Can't remember. The one part that made me laugh was they're like, don't squeeze. You have to hold it, but don't squeeze it too hard or
Yeah.
something like that.
She's seen it.
She's seen it. You don't need to. Oh, it's so funny.
That was hilarious.
Oh, what else? This part was not like super sexual, but I liked it. When he said he was telling her what he would do. He said, I'd take my hand and press it to your cheek and look you in the eye. Then I'd tell you you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. That I think you're brilliant and kind and that seeing you is the highlight of my entire week. Then, when you're on your way, I'm already dreading you leaving. And when I'm with you, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, sorry, I know that's not foreplay. And she's like, yes, it is.
Yeah. It was an intimate conversation moment.
Yeah. It was perfect. Did you have any more like specific
No.
ones? I just loved them all.
Me too.
Yeah, they're
But
pretty
they
good.
really could go at it like rabbits.
Yeah.
He's like, I need to get Gatorade. I'm like, y'all are setting false hopes for people
Well,
to
he
think
even
that's real
said,
life.
They stopped using protection. She just had IUD, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
stepping it up.
Because she said she'd never done that with somebody that she wasn't,
I mean, they kept bringing up the antibiotic resistant,
Oh, MRSA.
and I'm like, y'all keep talking about this, and
Yeah.
you're just gonna stop using condoms?
Right?
I have trivia.
Ooh,
Okay.
wait, we got to do fuck, marry, kill.
Oh yes,
Who'd
I'll
you,
go first.
Who'd you fuck?
Doug.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would marry Daniel, obviously.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I want to kill Amber and Jake and Cecil, but I'm not going to kill Neil because he did go to therapy.
Yeah, I think Neil has.
He had a redeeming character.
He
arc.
doesn't have potential for her, but I think he can get help and maybe be good for somebody.
Yeah, and I hope he does. But I'm going to kill the other three. And then
I actually agree.
Who's Jake?
Liz's boyfriend, the cop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, kill
he
that
just
fucker.
sucked.
Let me
I
pull his from
compared
that list.
Jake and Neil a lot, except
Mhm.
one was physical and one was
Yeah.
And then my best friends, I want to be Bree and Doug,
Yeah.
which made me laugh because then I think the next book's gonna be bad.
Yep.
Mhm. My list was the same.
Which that book is on sale at Target right now.
No way.
I just used all my gift cards on Throne of Glass.
I saw them at Bookaholic.
Throne
They
of
had the
Glass.
book.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have the brand new ones. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I had the same one. Fuck Doug, marry Daniel, but I said kill Dad. It was a strong choice for me. Get that fucker out of here because
Yeah.
he is never gonna accept Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
No.
He'll be happy that she's still with the hospital, but
That's
he's
all
never
he's cared
gonna.
about.
go to their wedding.
Yeah, he didn't go there. So fuck that guy. You said yours were pretty much the same.
Yeah. And I'll loop the family, the parents, and Jake into mine too.
Mm-hmm.
And then my best friend would be Bree.
I don't think I'd kill her mom though, just because
No.
she was an enabler, but I don't know. She had to deal with him for 70 years. So.
Yeah.
I think
But she would be out of the deal. If
she was
gone.
trying.
You want to do speed date?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you didn't tell us yours.
Yes,
no,
you
you
did.
did. Ah, just kidding. Excited for you.
Speed date. Quiz me.
Do you want to do our people or do you want to do trivia first?
Trivia.
Trivia.
Okay. Oh,
Trivia.
this is a fun fact. Do you guys know that Doug was sober and vegetarian?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the vegetarian part.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Because she said, "Does he eat these?" And he's like, "No, he's a vegetarian." Because she
Yeah.
was asking if they were going to eat Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Bacon, so funny. Okay, what song did Doug play on the guitar at the bar?
Ooh, I knew you were gonna.
Some
I
Mad
knew you were
About
gonna pull
You.
that one.
Mad About You, Made for You.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember, but I knew you were
3
gonna pull
words.
that one.
More than words.
Yep.
All you have to do.
I was so close.
When I was
Uh-huh.
reading, I was thinking about. I know Zoe's gonna pull this
Yeah.
one for the question.
Should have remembered.
I know.
Okay, speaking of songs, the whole time, every time I read Daniel's point of view, my brain was playing Justin Bieber. If I was your boyfriend.
I never let you go.
Okay, what does Derek do for work?
Plastic surgeon.
And do you
Yes.
know where he's working right now?
He's in a
humanitarian. Doctors Without Borders.
Yeah.
yeah.
What was the name of the hospital and when did it open?
Oh, it's a stupid name. D. It starts with a D. P. Never mind. I don't know. It's really, really long.
It starts with an R.
Mm-hmm.
Rainforth.
The audiobook says Royam.
Royam.
Yeah.
But when I read it, I could not figure out how to say it.
Seattle Grace.
And there was like
Grace Sloan Memorial.
several generations of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say how
They
long?
said this year often because that was also the year the grants started.
Quasi-centennial.
Yeah, what the heck? How could you say that? Every time I read it, I was like, what?
I had to think about it real hard.
Quasi-centennial.
Is it 150 years?
Yes. Or is it? Who cares? Next question.
No, what was the answer?
Since 1897. I think it was
97.
125 years.
125. Because they were both the same, the
Uh-huh.
town and the
Yeah.
hospital.
what was the book that she picked up from Daniel's pile that they both had just read?
Nope.
Or no, no.
You got obscure stuff, my friend.
She didn't read it. He picked it and told her to read it.
I thought she had already read that one.
Was
No.
it a biology of somebody?
It was a history of the Spanish influenza.
No,
It was a medical one.
it was the circus fire.
Oh yeah.
And I picked this because it was about the Ringling Brothers, and I've protested them before because I'm from really close to Ringling in Oklahoma.
Dang.
Huh.
That's really cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can I quincentennial?
Quasquicentennial.
The meaning of it is the pertaining to or making a period of 125 years or the 125th anniversary.
Yeah, no, that word is impossible to say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why did Amber, Daniel's mom, want to sell the Grant house?
She was
Because
gonna
she needed
open
some
a
money.
bike
for-
store,
Yeah.
but really she's on drugs.
Yeah.
I put to open a bike shop, and she's a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I just have 3 more.
Okay.
Where did Alexis get her schooling and degrees?
I don't know.
It's not Stanford. Or was it Stanford?
She has an MD from one school and a PhD from another.
Berkeley. Stanford and Berkeley?
Hey, okay. Oh.
What was Doug's duck's name?
No idea.
Ooh, he had a duck.
Daniel texted a picture of the duck to Alexis.
Give us a hint.
Duck is in the name.
Donald Duck.
No.
Are you ducking kidding me?
Duck Norris.
Duck
Norris.
Okay, this next book, I'm excited to hear all the different
Me
animal
too.
names. Because, of course, we're going to get introduced to all of them.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
And this one's just because it made me laugh. What does Bree do to Neil's locker?
I don't remember.
You pulled
She-
out some really good questions.
She hung stuff on it.
Nope. She sprayed something in it.
Oh, the fart
yeah.
spray.
She
vinegar.
sprayed vinegar, so he smelled like a salad.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh.
Are
All
we
right,
ready
what's
to do our
what
picks?
are these characters
sure
y'all
am.
picked out?
Okay.
It's
So,
like a little gift every time I
at
come
first,
here.
at first, I saw a picture of Ryan Gosling from The Notebook, and I was like,
Oh.
because I was getting a lot of Notebook vibes.
I mean, I could see it. I got a lot of Notebook vibes too.
And then I was like, no, that's not it. That's not it.
I don't
And
find him
then-
attractive at all.
If you're a bird, I'm
No.
a bird.
And then I saw this picture of Tom Hardy, and I was like, that's it, baby.
Tom Hardy is a very good looking.
That's
man.
it.
Okay, I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
that.
the one. And then my girl is Kate Walsh. Now, this is her back in the day, because I think she's like 54 now. Maybe she was Addison Montgomery from
Oh.
Grey's Anatomy.
Mhm.
Yeah, Adam's gonna have to make
Oh,
that
I
a lot
love
bigger.
her.
Yeah.
We can't see it.
She's really pretty in this. She has red hair, and she's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
No, I love her.
Ah,
Was that your
She
pick?
goes to private practice.
There it
That's
is.
The show that she's on.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's so pretty.
yeah. So isn't that a good picture? of her?
Yeah.
That was like perfect because you can tell she's like a little bit older.
Yeah.
But still
That's a
like
good choice.
gorgeous.
That's a
Mhm.
good choice.
So that's my pick.
Good
Okay.
job. Okay, my pick for I only did Alexis and Daniel.
Okay.
My pick for Alexis is Jessica Chastain,
Ooh.
who is also a very pretty redhead, and she's like a smidge older looking.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
I just
yeah.
think she looks like she's elegant.
Yeah.
Elegant.
And
And
eloquent.
yeah, she looks like she's elegant.
She looks like she
and
could be a doctor.
a doctor.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I just think she looks like she'd be witty and funny,
Yeah.
and I would like to meet her because
Mhm.
she's pretty and I like her. And
Who
then
else you got?
my pick for Daniel, we've been watching a lot of Forged in Fire lately, and that's where they make swords. And so I picked the host.
Oh, what's that?
Okay, that's not the one I meant. Okay,
It's a penis pick.
I picked
But not really.
No
They're in
pitch.
jeans.
Will Willis who's the host on this show.
Uh-huh.
But when I was looking up pictures of
Okay.
him, it kept saying Will Willis Forged on Fire Bulge. And I'm like,
oh,
and it's everywhere.
oh my
He
gosh,
looks like Big Dreamy.
he is good.
From
Who's McDreamy.
from your
Oh,
show,
from
Grey's
Grey's
Anatomy.
Anatomy?
Yeah.
Y'all act like you don't know
But
what
yeah,
it
so
is.
there's I have to post this on our Instagram so everybody
Please.
can understand
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, the bulge.
Let's post that.
But yeah, I think Will Willis.
Wow, you can see everything.
His name is W-I-L, and then his last name is W-I-L-L-I-S.
Hmm.
Will Willis.
His parents did that
There
on
we
purpose. Okay,
He
I don't have a
Can
pick.
shoot a sword with a gun
Wow.
and slice the bullet.
No
A
way.
sword with a gun, a bayonet.
He can no.
He can shoot a bullet
The
at a sword.
is way over there, and
Oh,
he
okay.
shoots it.
I thought you were talking about a sword that is
No.
attached to a gun.
I know
which
that.
is a bayonet.
Okay, I
Smash or
thought of a
pass?
pick. Wait.
Oh,
I
wait.
thought of a pick while y'all were
Did?
talking. Okay, you know the lady from Will and Grace?
Yes.
mhm.
Grace?
Uh-huh.
I think that she would be a good pick for her, too. She's got reddish hair,
Mhm.
and she's a little older,
Mhm.
but she's also, like, a really fun, like,
Yeah.
that kind of... Yeah,
Oh,
her!
yeah. I still like mine the best,
I just think she's gorgeous.
but I like your guy better. I think
That's
I
my
like your
pick.
guy pick.
And your girl pick.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's just who I thought of while you were talking. Thank you, producer
Very
Adam.
nice.
I had to pick this time, guys.
Good job.
Proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
On the fly.
Thanks, guys. I tried.
So smash or pass?
Smash.
I
And
agree.
I'm literally going to buy the next book.
I'm
Yes.
excited
Tomorrow.
about Brie.
And our happily ever after is assistant to the villain
Yes.
by, she's got a long name,
She
Hannah
does.
Nicole
May-
Meher.
Mayhair.
Meher.
Mayhair.
Ooh,
I'm excited
she's
about talking about
Scottish?
this one.
Meher.
Anyways, guys, you've reached the end of the podcast where we go over all of our social media. If you want to follow us on any of our different social media platforms on Instagram, IG, or Facebook, we are Lovers Library Pod. We also have a Facebook group for our book club. So if you want to join us there, it is Lovers Library Book Club. We also are on TikTok at lovers.library.po. Thank you guys for listening. We can't wait to share our next book. Have a great time. We'll see you next time.
Happily ever after.
Bye.